Hello everybody, this is Todd from Toad Painting. Today we're going to be finishing up this Death Spectre from Super Dungeon Explorer. At least trying to. I probably won't be doing any of the this guy's spine, but I'll definitely want to get all of this done right here. And the fleshy bit, and then all of his cloak. The cloaks can probably take a long time because I'm doing the purple, and then I have a bit of like the yellowy, I guess like almost like a non-metallic gold kind of style for the squiggly bits. So like he's come out so far, he's a little scary, but also kind of cute. So we're gonna start off with this is beaten purple, I think it's called. The label on the bottle's off. And then I'm gonna highlight it with, just gonna lighten it with a bit of a mouth white. Cool. Hey Medic, how's it going? He's definitely like a very interesting model. Like he almost like is too scary for like a normal Super Dungeon Explorer. He's not cute. Like all the other ones are very, very cute. Even like the dragons, like was it Glimmerwing is like a super cute kind of dragon. This guy's a little too spooky. He goes. Okay. You working on anything, Medic? Doing any chibi models or other stuff? I'm gonna draw a bigger brush. Okay. Get my number, was it 6? Yeah, it's a 6. But like it's chibi though, like I don't know. I don't remember, I haven't really played any Castlevania games, but were they really that like grimdark kind of thing? So I remember like the pixelated ones, which you can't really be scary pixels, right? Sure, so give me a link. I'll check it out. Pulp City, like the movie, or is something else? Is that a... There's a little piece that I have to clean up. It wasn't very... It's like a bit of a mold line. Then where'd my knife go? I can't believe I didn't see that. It's just... Try and smooth it out. Oh, that's interesting. It's like a tree man with clothing, which you don't normally see. Interesting. Is it like a dryad he has? A little girl? It's kind of cool. I like it. I like how it's going. I like the green beard. Wow, what is that thing? The white brown thing? It's like if Venom and Rattlesnake had a baby. It's kind of terrifying with his little head. Some good work though. That's a cute name. I like that. Acorn and Father Oak. How many models are in those kind of games? Supreme Alliance. I gotta say, it doesn't really seem like it'd fit into a Grand Alliance, that guy. Okay. Just ran out of my purple. A little bit more. This guy's got a lot of purple. Oops. Oh, I scratched that bit with my nail. Let me just get some tack. Stop myself from scratching with my nails. Okay. So how many models in a skirmish? Oh, okay. How many models in like a side? Is it like a small skirmish game or like a big skirmish game? It seems like a small kind of skirmish, like under 10 models a side. I'm probably wrong. See if I can do this purple cloth in about an hour, maybe hour and 10 minutes. All the purple, all the gold, I think. Should give me enough time to do the scythe. But we'll see. So once I've done all the purple shading, I have to go back and just like white out all the little squiggly bits in this guy to make it brighter when I do the base coat of the yellow and to make like a gold, non-metallic gold look. So I'm gonna go pretty dark with this purple in some parts. I'm gonna be trying like the different type of shading, because normally when I do purple I just add black to it to darken it for like the shadowed areas, but today I'm gonna try different colors. Instead of using a black, I'm gonna use like a dark green and see how that mixes. Be using a Gnarls green. Let's see if that makes it look nice or just look derpy. But these are my own miniatures, so I'm just playing around with the colors and stuff. Worked out pretty well last time with the Forgotten King. I did, was it a teal and she used a purple, so it's almost the same. Almost like the reverse of it, really, with this guy. The king was, because this king was like coal black, which is like a very dark teal, and highlighted with mouth white and then purple in the shadows. And he turned out pretty good. Okay, I'm just gonna leave the back part for the. I'm just gonna leave this. I'm not gonna try and brush that on right now. I'll do that very last bit because it's gonna be the darkest purple I got, really. So no point wasting time doing layers on it. Sounds like a very grimdark kind of game. Lots of evil creatures. When you have two factions called the Grim and the other faction called the Necroplane. Sounds like a very undead-filled universe. Gotta make sure I do a solid coat on this thing. Don't want any streaks in this guy. So let's wait. Let's give it a little bit. So I guess while I'm waiting for that, I'm gonna base coat this thing. So let's it's supposed to be like a stone, this thing, so I'm gonna play around. I'm probably gonna use a bunch of inks to give it some different colors, make it more interesting. But this is gonna be Crixbane base, or is it? Yeah, I think it's Crixbane base, that dark green, and then adding more white. So it turns like a grayish green color. That's my base coat, and I'm gonna shade it like that. Okay, so just a few. Those are like the main bad guys, like the undead, I guess, or the grim. Oh, okay. Grim goblins. Are they like a very cartoony kind of gremlins, or like the evil kind of gremlins, like from the movie Gremlins, I think? Have you ever played Malifaux? Because there's the Gremlin faction are pretty much like the comic relief faction. They're like all hillbillies getting drunk, riding pigs, and like the very random kind of faction, and I quite enjoy playing them. They're quite adept at killing themselves as well as their enemy kind of deal. Let's see. That's kind of cool. There's these drunken monks for gremlins in Malifaux that basically are all drunk and they basically have poison, which is basically another type of like alcohol poisoning. And if you attack them, they have a good chance of like basically dodging and moving past the attack. So they're really hard to pin down, kind of thing, like drunken masters, basically, always on the move, but still relatively squishy because they're small little gremlins, right? So this is gonna be this little like root part's gonna be all like fleshy and stuff, and the eyeballs gonna be creepy as hell, I think. Give it some more red veins. It's gonna be fun. So I don't know if I should try and dry brush a little bit of rock. Give it some texture. I don't know. I might give it a tiny dry brush and see how it looks. If I like, I might do like a harder one after. Because it's like chibi, right? So it's like cartoony. So how much texture would you really have on like a cartoony kind of style, very stylized mini? The anti-vampire. So Buffy the Vampire Slayers. Alright, hopefully the last coat of purple on this guy. I'll do the shading, which is really just more shades of purple. Is it just, has this game just come out? Is it like a new kind of game? Of course. Definitely not Van Helsing. Not his initials or anything like that. Whoops. Yes, the gremlins in Malifaux actually have some weird, like, kind of like mercenary type. Do you know Big Trouble in Little China? There's this gremlin called Bert Jensen. He's basically like the main character from Big Trouble in Little China. It's like Kurt Russell, basically, except tiny and green. He's wearing ripped up denim pants. And he's got his sidekick, which I guess the girlfriend in the show is called Gracie, but this one's just a giant pig. And she has a chance of like falling asleep in the game after she attacks. Okay. It's not a bad coat. I probably have to do a little more. Toxic Avenger, like a... Wasn't that like one of those like Garbage Pail Kid things? Like the 90s or 80s kind of deal? I'm not too sure. Red Riding Hoodoo? What's a Red Riding Hoodoo? Okay. So they have interesting mismatches of things. Rewriting in witch doctors, and that's cool. Let's see. All right, one little coat of purple left, and we'll get into the shading. Just a few little points I want to have a nice solid coat. Whoops, it's a little too light. There we go. Of course, the garbage truck comes right now. How noticeable is it?
I mean, you can tell there's something going on.
Okay, it's not too distracting. That's cool. So it's like a one-on-one kind of miniature game, or is it a board game, or is it like a free-for-all kind of thing? Let's see. So make sure this base coat's nice and solid for the next step, otherwise it'd be really hard to fix. Sorry it's taken so long. Oh, that's cool. Like a new edition kind of thing. But it's like one player versus one player. It's not like a free-for-all of like 4 or 5 players. Okay. Wait till the purple dries. So, I'm gonna try to shade that rock. I'm gonna look at the concept art, because the rock... Yeah, it's just like a standard flat gray. It's kind of a purple hue. I think it's got a purple hue to it on the stupid art. So, I might... I don't know. I feel like that inks would work good on this thing. He's got the green hues, blue down here, then he's got the purple, and some purple and gold. And then it's gonna be all fleshy. So I might want to give it a bit of green. So if this is all purple here, then there's a bit of green inking and stuff like that would probably work good. Nothing too vibrant, obviously. And I'll probably give him like a very vibrant, probably like a teal eye like that. Might be cool. Yeah, that'd probably be cool. Like a Godzilla kind of thing. One player versus a lot. That's cool. Alright, I'm gonna do some little shading here. Make sure both my brushes are clean and wet. For the 2-brush blending part. And then applying it a bit and then moving the pigment around with a clean brush. This will ensure the saturation is kept very high. You kind of want very high saturation for cartoony stuff. And this guy's pretty cartoony. A little creepy though. Like that little eye kind of like stands out and doesn't really fit in like the cute chibi kind of universe, but it's fine. A little bit of body horror in your chibis. You could do like The Thing. It'd be kind of cool. The Thing, like the movie, was it the Carpenter movie? With Kurt Russell? It'd be kind of creepy. The dog creature. Half puppy, half spider, I think it was. In that one scene. That'd be an interesting chibi model to make. Make sure I don't ruin this guy's arm while I'm here. There we go. Packet drops? What do you mean by packet drops? Oh, like, he's getting leggy? No, I don't think so. Is it getting leggy or something over there? I'm not seeing any frame drops on slobs. Are you seeing anything yet? Okay. Interesting. That's unfortunate. Where are you located? Because I'm based on the West Coast. Could be a distance thing, time of day, etc. This one? Okay, I'll have to. Do we have any more of those? Nah. Okay. Yes, it was causing too much noise and it couldn't handle all the uploading all that screechiness. At least you can't get the smell right. There's no smell-o-vision yet. Maybe the next 1,000 years. So once I've done this first coat of purple, I'm going to go use a darker one, then try and blend the darker purple and this lighter purple together with this beaten purple. The next step I'm going to do is a combination of purple with the green and see how that goes. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, we recently upgraded our connection, so we haven't had any problems ever since we upgraded. but that doesn't stop things from happening over the course of, well, how the data flows, I guess. Like, was it Google, was it the Weekend, whatever, had a giant...
You're also not a partner, you're only an affiliate, so you don't get
yeah.
transcoding.
Yeah, it's true. I'm not high up there yet, so it's supposed to be a Twitch thing too. Many reasons. Not part of the cool club yet. And not quite enough contrast in this layer, but I just want to go straight to the darker purple after this. And I'll kind of blend it together. Okay. Let's see now. Well, that purple is drying. Let's go work on that stone thing. I know. Well, I just started, like, well, I didn't just start, I guess. How many months old? Maybe like 4, 6 months? 3, 4 months? I can't remember. So, I'm still relatively a noob. Okay, let's, do I want inks for the stone? Do I want to dry brush it? No, I don't think dry brushing is going to be what I want to do. Let's see. Take some straight mammoth white. I'm just gonna do some highlighting. A little too much paint on my brush there. There isn't really much detail on this. There's no, like, it's not really craggy. There's no like chips, whatever, on this bone scythe. I wonder if I should add some of my own details to it, or just keep it simple and smooth. Because there's only a couple little scratches, like this. Okay. I'm really surprised this is like a stone scythe. It's just like a weird choice for a weapon. Super heavy, not very durable. It's like very brittle. And like weird, like half plant, half fleshy eyeball thing coming out of it. What the stories behind that? Just a random design choice. Or is it based off some other kind of game? I don't think this Castlevania guy had the stone scythe, did it? Okay. I don't really like Pure Menoth White for highlighting, it just doesn't really blend that well, but it is a very nice color, I like it because of that. Let's see. And I'll give a bit of a shade from something else. Maybe that or the Crixbane base. Okay, I think the purple is ready to try out some green purple now. So let's try a 50-50 mix of gnarl green and beaten purple. And see if it gets dark enough. That's an interesting color. That actually might be really good. Let's find out. It's a little thin, that's a problem, but I do like it. It's kind of a creepy color, I gotta say. It's a bit like almost like a moldy kind of color. I like it for this guy. This Undead Fiend thing. I do like this color, it's kind of... Because it's not black, but it's definitely not purple anymore. I'll go back and blend it together with the other colors with the purple. That's very nice. I mean, dreading having to go back and do all the swirly bits with white. It's not going to be very fun. Yeah, I'm gonna open the window a little bit. It's getting a little warm. Okay. I'm back to greening this guy up. Just trying to put this in like the deepest recesses of the cloak, kind of where it flows. I'm going to be doing a little bit of overpainting too, so darkening where it probably wouldn't be so dark. I'm going to brighten it back up with the purple again. So the plan is. It is a kind of a creepy color, I gotta say that. It's like a purpley teal. Very cool. Unlike that noise. I don't know what the hell that noise is.
You're streaming, so now the yard work has to begin.
Mm-hmm. Of course it does. No matter what time of day I start streaming, yard work must be done. I guess it is spring, so. So you let your lawnmower loose.
As long as they're not weed whacking the hedges again.
Oh, what? It's next week, babe. It's next week. You guys have any questions about this process or about the model or anything else, just let me know. Okay. I'm not gonna worry about the under part of this this cloak. I'll do it some other time, probably off stream. It's just gonna be a very tedious little piece to do. Probably just do it black, I think. Okay. Okay. I think it's almost time to go back to the purple now. I may even go back and do some lighter purple and blend it together. It's a few spots of pale light purple. And then resaturate it again with the straight beaten purple. Like all the edges and stuff like that I'll probably do now. Like all these little folds right there. Just the very edges of them. Just do a little bit of bright purple. Let's darken this part more. Same with this side. Just give it a little more contrast. More contrast, more gradient. Makes it a little more interesting looking. Especially such a big flat area. Alright. Back to the purple and mouth white mix. And just do a couple places. Even a lighter purple than I did before. Like that's probably what I want. And just go back and just places where I maybe overpainted. Reclaim them. All like the sharp folds and stuff like that, just go back and define them and stuff. And a few of the edges. There we go. And I'll blend it all together when I do the purple again. And that should be the final shade of purple, I think, at that step. But we will see. It's almost flesh color to this mouth white and purple. It's kind of interesting, actually. Not a bad color if you're doing like off-human flesh, like aliens or fantasy creatures. Do a purple elf. Okay. Now this stupid part right here. I have to do one more layer on this top part once it dries. It's not. There we go. I'm just gonna make sure it's all blended in, so there's no like hard edges and stuff like that, because it's hard to blend back with the darker colors. Let's see. wouldn't be that bright here, but I'm gonna just lighten it up anyway. Make it look more interesting. More contrast, the more interesting it gets. I'm also going to try and follow the curvature of this guy's. I don't know what that is. Is it part of his skull? Is it part of his spine? This whole like hood thing is just full of air or gas, maybe. He's part gas, so maybe that's what it is. It's like a hot air balloon. This guy. Okay. I actually just ran out of my purples. What I really wanted to get was this part right here, because it's got a very sharp fold which would catch light easy. I'm just gonna lighten it up. I'm not gonna worry about this undersleeve because it'd be pretty dark down there. Oh, and there's some fluff on my... There we go. It's gone. So getting the light, the highlighting is probably the hardest thing to do properly. Because you can overpaint, you can underpaint. A lot of people like over highlight faces and make the face kind of like way different lighting than the rest of the body, and it just looks a little funny. So there is a thing of doing too much highlighting, but you also don't want to make it too realistic. Sometimes it looks too boring, so you gotta do a combination of both realistic and, well, hyper realistic, just to make it eye-catching. And so let's see if I pull that off. Okay, I think I'm done the highlighting now. And I'm gonna go do some shading any second now. Alright, this is gonna be just straight beaten purple from P3. I'm just gonna do thin, very thin amounts. And this will saturate the highlight color I was just doing, because it's very chalky looking, so this will make it a little more interesting, because chalky models don't look that good. I may go back with a bit of black and just most recessed areas and just give it extra little bit of pop. Okay, it's getting there. And then the final part, blending this top part together. Without making it too dark, but also not making so it's not so chalky either. Okay. I'll have to go back and just blend it a bit better once it's dry. Let's do some pure black though, and see how that does. Just in like the recesses. And it's too thick. Alright, let's water it down. Pretty good. I'm not going to do pure black around this area, except for this part right here. I just wanted the most extreme recessed areas, just to give it some more contrast. Just shows even a darker color in that green-purple mix. Add a bit more depth to it. Okay. That was a very sudden change of song. Like that song didn't have an ending, it just cuts off. Okay. One little coat of purple now. Just for a few parts that need to be blended better. Like, this is the problem area I was thinking of right here. Problem is I find the purple very shiny, so kind of hard to tell exactly what's happening in some darker areas. Okay, let's leave it at that for now. Let's go to the non-metallic gold part. But that's going to require some white basing. Okay. Whatever that was. I wonder what the whole purple and gold kind of means. Because it's like if he's like a normal Grim Reaper, like normally just have like a very nondescript kind of garb. This is kind of very fancy for something that's like a death incarnate. Or is it more of like a lost soul who just wants vengeance and buried with a lot of their finery and stuff like that? So it's like a death shroud basically. A golden royal purple death shroud. Or just something that the artist thought was cool. Or these like the ruins that reanimate this spirit. I'm sure lots of reasons. Okay. I'm just gonna take a little water break. Oh, my cord's in the way. Didn't notice that. There we go. And maybe I'll just no, it's this guy. Whatever. I'm not gonna fix that. I've changed my camera too much. Okay, back to the scribble bits. Perhaps go back with like a black ink or something like that and fill in all these little lines to give it the black border. That's gonna be very time consuming. There we go. That's what the word means. Okay. I'm just gonna put some blue tack on this guy's sight so don't rub off the paint. Let's do that. Here we go. It's very careful, don't ruin the purple I've just did. The way I'm seeing a bit of like imperfections in the purple where I should go back, but I'll finish up the gold first. I'm doing the white because I find if you do like a yellow, which one I'm going to do after this, it doesn't have the same kind of coverage. It gets much more streaky, and so white has way better coverage and just takes 1 or 2 coats. Instead of if you do like yellow, for example, it's going to be like 10 or so. I don't have all day. Also don't have the patience to do 10 coats like that. So I'll just be like maybe 2, maybe 3 coats of white and then 1 coat of yellow. So many scribbly bits. If only I had a fast forward button for this part. It's gonna look super cool when it's done, it's just not super cool to paint. A little stressful actually. It's gonna be really hard to fix any of the purple if I mess it up. And this part's like missing a bit of the border around here, so I have to just add it myself. There's no like little trench to define the ruin in this part, so make it up as I go along. There we go. It's a small part, but still. Oh, a little bit of overpaint, and it's gone. When I go back with the yellow, or when I'm back with the other layers of white, I'm just going to do the very top, the brightest areas with the white, so like all the raised areas like here, not like the deeper parts. Because like when I do the gold, I'm just going to use brown for those areas, which is much better coverage in darker areas. So I'm not going to worry about base coating it pure white on every single area. This is why I normally prime white. You can do like yellow with like maybe 1 or 2 coats if you have putting like white on like, or putting yellow on like pure white primer, but unfortunately this is predominantly purple, so I kind of do that first, which makes things a bit harder. But it's gonna look good when it comes out. I just wish the purple wasn't so shiny. Okay, just a home stretch now. This is not exactly the song I was thinking of when I signed up for the Epic channel. I'm gonna change it. Last stupid ruin. Oops. Got a little too eager there and started overpainting. Okay. Let's not ruin my somewhat clean paint job right now, because I'm getting hasty. Okay, so there is, oh no, a tiny little ruin thingy, signal, whatever it be. Am I missing any other ones? No? Alright, there we go. So that's the first coat. A little patchy in most places where it's dark, but the base coat is what matters. Gonna go back to my first spot and just do another white coat on the lighter areas, the most raised areas, and try and get that as white as possible, because these are the most important parts for when I put down the yellow. Make sure I don't put my finger on any wet paint. Also important, painting on camera. of cleaning up to do when I do the post the final pictures. It's gonna be all like 90% of the cleanup is gonna be in this stupid area. Alright. Almost there. It's coming along nicely. Maybe a good collection or good addition to my game, that Subdone Explore game. He seems like a fun, annoying mini-boss. He teleports around and hits people and runs away and heals when he has lifesteal. Like any good self-respecting ghoul or ghast. Steal the life of the living. Gotta be patient and not put too much paint on. So add adding texture to it, because it dries funny and it dries thick. Definitely do many small thin coats. Even if it drives you a little insane. Just it's the name of the game. Especially if you're doing light colors. So a lot of people would start with dark colors and just stay with dark colors. It's easier, less coats, it's most of the time better coverage, and it's harder to see your mistakes. You start with light colors. It's much easier to see your mistakes, so it's more of a challenge to make it look nice with lighter colors. But you can see, I find it just looks so much better with light colors. Bright light colors. A lot of like professional artists do it. Relatively bright. You don't see too many like very dark models winning competitions and stuff like that. Plus, it looks better on the table too. Because like, if you take a model that's like dark and put it at arm's reach, it looks like a dark blob. Take a model that's very bright and arm's reach, you can probably see most of the details. That's why, basically, my argument between dark and light color models. Plus, I always paint on the cartoony side. Just how I roll. Okay. Let's try a little bit of yellow, see if I've got enough white on this so far. Hey, Miss Half Damage. I got it right this time. How you doing? How you enjoying the streaming life? Okay. Gonna do some sulfuric yellow. It's my favorite natural looking yellow. It's very bright, but it's not like neon colored. I find some yellows are like that. But I am doing gold, so I'm just gonna do a little bit of brown to it so it's not super bright. Hard to fit the time into stream or to watch. Excuse me. Ah. Well, I'm a full-time professional painter, so it's kind of... I generally just do commissions on my stream, but I'm kind of taking a break from that and doing my own stuff now on stream. It's kind of fun. Because I can do it whatever way I want. Do you paint the commissions on stream? Or are you just doing fun stuff? Hey, how's it going, Farouk? Not too much. We're just starting on the fun stuff here. I'm doing a lot of swirly bits in this guy's cloak. Maybe even time to do the scythe, depending how slow this gets. But I want to get them finished. I'll probably do more than my 2 hours today. You guys painting anything interesting? What kind of gladiator?
It's Kingdom Death, remember?
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. I remember now. Sorry. I'm a little brain dead sometimes. Don't worry about me. It's like when I try to pronounce your name for the first time. I'm better with my hands than my mouth. I need to paint. You looking for inspiration here, Roach? Roke? I'll call you Pharaoh, how about that? It's probably better than me trying to pronounce whatever the other one is. What are you trying to get inspiration for? You doing like an army, a couple miniatures, warband, display piece? Think of the chocolates. Now I want chocolate, you bastard. Every time you say chocolate. Rocher? Oh, Ferrocher! Now I get it, sorry. I'm a little slow sometimes, don't worry. Nice. I'm doing some, is it called Underworld? Underspire? Whatever? I'm doing the Godsworn hunt on Thursday. Are you doing a full army, or are you doing like a warband? That's cool. How many models is that? Because I'm not too sure about the rules for them. Can you do like just like a couple monsters, or can you do like, do you have to do like a whole bunch of units? Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, that's from like what, 3 models to like, the goblins have like 8, I think. Not 100%. I do love the goblins though. Are you gonna do use the contrast paints for that? Because I've heard good things about those guys. Because those are like the wraith guys with contrast paint. You can like pop those up pretty fast with like a couple of the contrast, depending on what kind of style you're looking for. Oh. still a lot of paint. I haven't really changed my line of paints in a while because I'm a brush licker, so the P3 paints are like the most non-toxic paints that are out there, and they guarantee it, or they yeah, they use it for their own two-brush blending, so they lick their own paint, so you can guarantee not get any kind of nasty poisoning from that. So I haven't really tried other paints except for like a few of the effects from Games Workshop, like the Blood for the Blood God, which is quite good, but you don't need to like brush lick for that. There's no real blending involved. Yes. I find a lot of pots are very much lacking. They snap or like get broken, then they start getting thick because they're off-gassing, basically losing moisture because the bottles aren't sealed properly anymore. I have done a few in like dropper bottles, but it's rather annoying. It doesn't always work that good either. I got some relatively cheap bottles, and they kind of break sometimes, or just get full of paint, or the paint gets like broken inside and it jams it. It's also annoying too. Yeah, P3 is really good for like smooth blending and stuff like that. I'm not a big fan of GW's like very thick style of paints, you might say. You can buy like dropper bottles for like 50 cents, I think, for the whole thing. Less than 50 cents? Yeah, just where do we buy our really cheap like product stuff like that? Is it Alibaba, AliExpress? AliExpress? I think we invest in really cheap stuff with free shipping and stuff like that. Like under 50 cents for a dropper bottle, which is quite good. I highly recommend P3. It's a very good brand, a good company. I've had no problems except for obviously the bottles, but the paints themselves are quite good. I never actually used the scale 75. Are they like, what kind of paints are they like? They're acrylic, obviously, right? And they're all in dropper bottles. I don't... Are they like a thick, are they thin kind of consistency? Because I really hate thick paints. Like my number one worst thing is just like, because when you get textury paint, your model is supposed to be smooth and it gets all like thick and splotchy. I really hate that. That and mold lines, but you can definitely fix that part. I mean, I don't normally care about like the shine on it, if a paint's shiny or not, because I always seal my miniatures with a gloss coat from whatever that stuff is called. Tester's dull coat, then I do some gloss coat, then dull coat it, and so it always loses its shine no matter what. But yeah, it's kind of harder to show work in progress pictures when it's shiny. But that's fine. It's the end result that really matters anyway. A dry level? Oh, okay, so it kind of self-flattens. Interesting how they're thick, but they also are translucent. So a lot of like medium, I guess, and less pigment. That's what it sounds like. Oops. Because I know P3 paints are very high pigment count, which is good. So you can do thin layers. Does it mean that the scale has more filler, basically? More liquid? And more, like basically less pigment. What do you think, Kat? What would you say about that? Alright, fine. As staining. But they're translucent. So how do they get that if they're have high pigment count? Alright, let's do some brown. I'm gonna double check how they kind of colors they use for their Death Spectre on the art card. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it saturated. I'm gonna add a little bit of gray to it so it's not too saturated. And do some battle death green. That's a nice noise. Sounds like a baby, like sheep or something like that. Alright, so a little bit of battle death green and mixed with some bloodstone. Oh, that's not. I guess they're meant for like doing layering and stuff. More for like getting very smooth transitions. So you need like airbrush your stuff on. So I don't have that kind of problem with P3.
Well, it could also be the difference between using lakes and dyes as the pigment versus micas and oxides.
Oh, okay.
Because P3 is mica and oxide, which is why you can put it in your mouth.
So naturally occurring.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's nothing heavy. And the other ones are using inks.
Lakes and dyes.
Oh, lakes? What's a lake?
It's a lab formulated colorant.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Things I do not know about.
But those would very much be don't put in your mouth.
Yeah. I mean, I guess they're technically safe to put in your mouth for like a little bit, but overexposed period. No, not even.
They're not safe for contact with mucous membrane.
Fair enough. Maybe I'm gonna go for a smaller brush for this part. Whoops, let me just throw him around first. Show him who's boss. Let's see. My water cup is just turned the consistency or the color of like almost like hot chocolate. Looking kind of tasty. It's gonna be really hard to get this all smooth, isn't it? Oh well. I chose this model for myself. It's my fault. It's gonna take a while. Oops. I'm trying to smack around all the things today. Models, cameras, you name it. Oh, the train. I don't think you told me what Age of Sigmar warband you. Oh no, you're doing the ghosts, right? Do you have a color scheme for those guys? Classic blue and black, ghostly blue, teal kind of color, or are you gonna do like a angry, vengeful, like red kind of glow? Well, that's the cool thing about the ghost. You can just do like any kind of color you want, really. You can do like a sickly green, kind of plague-looking thing. You can do the teal, which is like more ethereal, serene, angry, vengeful. What is Nagash colors? I haven't seen that guy in forever. Navy blue? Like for the glow effect or for like the cloth? Because they're dressed in the rags and stuff like that. Craven King. Now, who's the Craven King? Is that like a canon character? The King in Yellow? That's what it kind of sounds like. This is more of a Lovecraftian kind of thing, though. Though I'm a big fan of Lovecraft. Okay. That's cool. My god, that guy's... how he's perched on the base. Whew. It's my biggest problem with the undead. There's some spindly bits in those things. Kind of makes me glad I don't play those guys anymore. Because, wow. One bad knock and they're just like gone. Because how would you reattach that?
You get a new one.
Yeah, I also got like red is like vengeful and angry. Because like red is basically blood, and blood catches the eye, and so it just there's lots of things. Orange is what is orange? I think orange is yellow is red. I think red and yellow kind of gives you like the hungry kind of combination. I think it's like orange. You also get like pastel colors, which are like more calming, like pink. That's why a lot of like prisons are like a salmon, like a very pale salmon kind of color. It calms them down, stuff like that, or even like a pale pink. Things like that. There's lots of cool color theories you can go for. And ghosts are kind of like a primal kind of force, so it's definitely a good idea to do a primal kind of color, emotional kind of thing for them, because they're basically all they are, just like dead people's emotions and their memories without a body. just like in what was that one movie? The Pixar movie. um, it had the inside the little girl's brain. Basically, had all the emotions.
Inside Out.
Inside Out. There we go. Because like they're all based off of. Because the angry guy was red. The scared one was green, I think, and then like the who was the main character? Or the like the good one, basically, the brave one or whatever. What color was she? I think the blue one was scared, or was it green? Or I think the scared guy was green. Oh. But yeah, lots of colors associated with certain things. And color combinations too. It's all like all the advertising for food stuff and all big companies do. They definitely research the shit out of that stuff. Okay. Look much better once I do the bit of trim on this thing. black edging. So I don't know if you can see the white parts I've missed on the edges, but you can't really get in there without some like ink. It's gonna take a while. Where'd you go? Okay. Just want to make sure my dark color is not so saturated. So it's just the Trader Green mixed some Bloodstone, which is almost like a gray. It's like a grayish brown, basically. It's not a very nice color by itself, but it kind of works good for desaturating other colors. Making sure it's not so chunky around here in the deeper recesses. It's a little too chunky, I guess. I gotta blend it better. It's gonna take a little longer than I was hoping for this part. Maybe let's go for the brighter color first. Let's try that. I'm gonna go try some pure yellow for just more highlights. Some more flatter surfaces. I think we're a little too dark. I guess I won't be doing the site today. That's fine. I'll definitely have the... When I do finished pictures, I'll have everything all done, touched up. Let's see. Now that I've highlighted some areas, I want to go back and lighten some other areas just to give it more contrast. More variety. I like how this ruins coming out. It just needs more blending, which just takes more time. I'll probably say goodbye for this stream now. I'll post some better pictures of him later on this week, probably Thursday or Friday. I'll do some other finished pictures of him, because I want to see him done. I just probably take a little break right now from streaming, get some food in me and stuff like that. Alright. And definitely have to trim up all that ruins. Those scribbly bits need to have a nice black border on them. Alright, thank you so much for watching, and we're not going to be rating anybody, are we? Alright, have a good afternoon. Hopefully see you guys Thursday. We're going to be doing the Godsworn Hunt from Underspire, I think it's called? Underworlds? Alright. See ya. See ya, Roach. Alright, have a good one.